So the reason to share this with you is that we're all going to find very difficult, dark times in our life. We can face health challenges. We can have, very serious financial challenges. But I would encourage you to turn to God, to pray daily, to be thankful and grateful for everything that you have in your life, and then get down to work. Set your objectives, set your goals, do the basics, do the things that we know work, scheduling meetings, following up on emails, giving presentations, giving demonstrations. The basics always work, and it's through that hard work, patience, persistence, faith, gratitude, that we can survive and then later thrive. It's so important. So we had our second time that LifeWave as a company almost died on the operating table. And that was about 10 years after that. Almost exactly to the week. It was the first week in October of 2016. So literally 10 years later, we launched a new product, we launched a new computer system, and once the system was turned live, everything crashed, and we couldn't take orders. And this went on for weeks. And the system was down basically between October and December, and even after that, it took months to really fix it and correct it. And I'm so grateful, actually, that those events happened in 2006 and 2016, because if they hadn't, then we couldn't have prevented them in the future. Now we have systems around all of these things so they won't happen again. But unfortunately, we had to learn a really difficult lesson. So this crisis happens in 2016, and 2017, incredibly difficult year. So I'm going into meetings with staff, and you can feel the friction in the air. It was not fun in those days to be in those meetings. We had to go through layoffs. We had to let a lot of people go in order to save the business so that we could fight and live. And that was just so very difficult. At that time, we had already put in close to 10 years of research into stem cells. And as you know, eventually this would turn into over 70 patents. And the main technology that I was focusing on was pulsed electromagnetic field therapy. So I thought this was going to be something that we would come out with, but it was this enormous, expensive, time-consuming regulatory process. This may still be something we do in the future now that the circumstances have changed, because it's still an incredible technology. But back then it seemed like an impossibility to take that tech to market and do it properly. So one day I'm in a meeting, and there was a disagreement between two of the executives. It got very heated, and everyone was really feeling this tension and pressure. And I thought, I've got to do something to turn this around and get people excited about the company again. I am so tired of playing defense. I want to be on offense. I want to have a new product, have it be something exciting. How can I take all of this research that we've done and turn it into a product that we can make available to everyone, and do it cost effectively, do it inexpensively, have it be safe and efficacious? How is that going to happen? So as many of you know, I'm a huge Iron Man fan, and Tony Stark's story is that he gets down to his lowest point, he goes into a cave, he's forced to create his Iron Man armor, and then he emerges from the cave victorious, and that opens up a new chapter in his life. So for me, it was going into the lab and looking through years of notes and thinking, how is this going to happen? And the good Lord blessed me with a flash of insight. So for those of you that are inventors, many times what happens is you'll get a kernel of an idea, you'll work on a project, you'll put a lot of time into it, and then eventually something comes from it. And then every once in a while, an inventor experiences something truly remarkable, and it's precious, and that's a flash of insight, where the idea just comes into your brain, and you can very, very clearly see the path forward. And that's what happened. As soon as I was given this information, that's exactly what I saw. This is going to be the path forward. So I got to work creating the X39 patch. And then as that product was developed, it was the middle of June of 2018. And we were gearing up to make these patches and share them with the leaders in our community at the time. And I had no idea whether or not the leaders would like this idea. We had a conference call with the leaders, middle of June 2018. Will they really like this idea about activating stem cells with a patch? I don't know. But gotta try, right? And of course, the rest, as they say, is history. It was an incredibly exhilarating thing to be a part of. And I'm so very grateful to all of the leaders that stepped forward to build the momentum in the business and create what it is that we have today. But the point of all this is that you may find yourselves where in a time where it looks like you're going to go bankrupt, there's no escape, there's no way out, and the greatest time in your life could just be around the corner. And that's what happened with LifeWave. Now, speaking about having a good life, I want to tell you something that happened on our 15-year anniversary cruise. It was a very special event. It was incredible. We were coming off of momentum for the launch of X39. People were excited. We had over 300 people on the cruise. So I was out and about taking pictures with our brand partners, as I normally would. And I ran into Patty Zamora and her husband Edgar. I'm looking over at Lorenzo Magru, because Lorenzo is their leader. And Patty and Edgar said, hey, how about we take a picture there together? And Christina happened to be there, and she was there with her friend Lizetta. So I said, come on, let's all take a picture together. So Christina was standing next to me, and she had a shirt on that said good vibes. She had a shirt on that said good vibes. And I had a shirt on that said LifeWave. So we're standing all next to one another. And a few weeks later, Patty and Edgar sent me this photo. And as I was standing next to Christina, the word vibes was covered by my shirt, and all you could see on her shirt was the word good. And on my shirt, Edgar had his hand over me, and it was covering wave, and all you could see was life. So when I looked at the picture, Christina and I are next to one another, and it said good life. And fortunately, she had become available. And it was maybe about 6 months later that I started to court her. And lucky me, she was interested. And here we are today. Thank you, honey. I love you. But it hasn't been a good life with her. It's been an amazing, great life. She's the love of my life, and I wouldn't trade her for the world.